morning, everyone. That's okay. I can go by Miss Blosh, but my government name is Dolores Crowell. Well, I will, we're all here for this grand reopening of Glen Emerald. And without further ado, I want to bring up our CEO, who's going to serve as our master of ceremonies as well. Thank you, yes.
I feel like Ed McMahon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Isn't this a great day in DeKalb County, Georgia? Isn't it just amazing? And I'm just delighted, honored to be here as your CEO, and delighted to be with my fellow public servants, delighted to be with, more importantly, the residents. Let's give the residents who live in this beautiful community a round of applause. You will meet them later, but we got two of our county commissioners. I said everywhere I go, this is the best board of commissioners DeKalb County has ever had. I say it. And leading the way this morning is the hardest working man in DeKalb County politics, Larry Johnson, Commissioner Johnson. All right, yeah. And also we have with us Commissioner, he used to be the youngest, but not anymore. Commissioner Ted Terry is also here. Give Ted a round of applause. Great. And we have DeKalb County's finest, the men and women who uniform and out of uniform who keep us safe every day. Let's give the men and women of the DeKalb Police Department a round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, y'all can wave. All right, there you go. All right. We got two more coming down the street. Give Sarge a hand. Y'all wave. Give him a hand. All right. Good. So now I'm going to already introduce him, but the man whose district we in, District 3, who began working in this area, 2007, with the community. And I want to ask Commissioner Larry Johnson to come forward and talk about the journey from, not just challenge, the journey from opportunity to reality. Yeah. Commissioner Johnson.
Good morning, everybody. Boy, this is a great day in Glen Emerald Park, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. This has been a labor of love that has been a long time coming. And some of the residents who've been with me, Ms. Weed, been out here in this area since before I got here, and she started with me, and we started working with Grady Hospital, but she lives right around the corner from here, and it's just very important to acknowledge some of our legacy residents who have been here next to us to make sure we push. If you notice what the CEO talked about, this has been 07, but I started in 03 where I did a scan of all of the parks and green space in the area. And Glen Emerald was one of those things. We had Paradise East Apartments. Now, if you Google Paradise East Apartments, it was some of the roughest, toughest apartments that we had in a long time. And Ms. Weed, she knows and how it was. And I was telling one of the officers, I said, it's much milder than it was back in 02, 03. And next to it is now called Artesian. Now, Artesian was another name. They had almost 20 apartment owners. So just imagine trying to work with code enforcement and find out. We found one owner who wanted to buy all of this, Mark. And so I sat down with him. I didn't know, Commissioner Terry, how it would impact for, how troublesome it was to try to find all these different owners. This before we had code enforcement court. This is before we only had 7 code enforcement officers for the whole county. So you can imagine, and CEO always tell me, say, man, I don't know how you got a lot of this stuff done. But we just pieced it together. But Artesian, the trash used to be higher than this building. That's how much they just didn't care and they dilapidated. Then right across the street right here, where you see Artesian is, this was an abandoned apartment that he fixed up. Then around the corner at Fox Hall, which is something I want to highlight later on, Mr. CEO, it's called a rock park that I purchased about 15 years ago. And everything in there, they have Native American soapstone carvings. They drug those stones from over there at Panthersville over here, and they created a spring right here in this community, right next to those townhomes over there. So Glen Emerald was one of those first parks that said, what can we do to spark, to let people know that we're not going to leave them behind? And so we went out, CEO, with our 2001 bond money and built the playground to try to put a down payment on residents that we're not going to forget about you. Then we came back in 06 where we've passed 3 bonds in one night. The first time in DeKalb's history we did, and I see my good friend out here, she knows all about this. We passed a library bond, a green space bond, and an infrastructure bond. That's what gave us Porter Sanford, the Intergenerational Center, our sidewalks, and then helped us to do additional green space in our community. So just imagine fast forward from 01 to now, where we are today. And I just want to thank our CEO, our Director Ellis, and also Commissioner Ted Terry has come on board, Ms. Cope, and I see Ms. Allison Clark, Mark Bowden back there. These are the folks who now have come on to our community and said, we want the best for Glen Emerald. They call it the Magical Park. And you see Glen Emerald, y'all, you know, Wizard of Oz and the Emerald Walk and all that. This is why it's called the Magical Park, because when you come here, I wanted you to imagine about your wellness. Imagine just taking your mind off of all your issues on how we can connect with each other in this community. So I'm excited about where we are, the investments. Mr. Ellis will talk about on where we're going. But how much have we invested so far? $5.6 million. Y'all give it up. Thank y'all. But you're going to see from that 5.16, we still hadn't done a new playground, Mr. CEO, that you've got approved for us to do. We're going to get a brand new playground. We're going to redo the parking lot. And that's all part of the Splash money. We got $1.some million from Splash to redo the dam. So Miss Splash, Mr. Penny, we're trying to do another penny, but we want to make that happen. And Splash, the special purpose local option sales tax, is what prepared us to really to take this park to another level. So enjoy it. Welcome to this area. And this is all about the Renaissance and how we transformed it and walking and doing our trails and all those things. And last thing I'll say, Mr. CEO, because I get ready to, I'm now the immediate past president for NACO, but I was on the call with the executives from Walmart, because I'm working on Walmart around workforce issues on what we can do to build public-private partnerships. I'm going to introduce them in Austin, Texas in 2 weeks. But I was telling them about DeKalb and how the public-private partnership that we've done with those companies is not new for us. Collaboration and partnerships, and our CEO practices this and talks about this all the time. We must work together with our community, with the business community, with the Board of Commissioners on how we can propel where we go. So thank you all to our Parks and Rec staff. Paige is hiding in the back. She's been so instrumental in everything. Of course, all the staff back there in Parks and Rec. You know, as I get ready to conclude this part of my life, it's been a lifelong journey to just set a foundation for where we want to go next, which is wellness, prosperity, and making DeKalb strong. So thank you to Commissioner Terry. Thank you to the community. Thank you to CEO Michael Thurmond. And I'm going to turn it over to our Commissioner Ted Terry, who's going to bring greetings up here. So give it up, Mr. Ted. You're going to bring them on up, Mr. CEO.
Brother Parker Penny just admonished me and said, yeah, you the CEO, but if it weren't for me, my penny, y'all wouldn't be here today. So let's give it up to Parker Penny. Yeah, yeah. What, Ms. Clark? He said, y'all. What kind of CEO is this? I'm just saying it like it is. Y'all think y'all important, right? The most important man at the place is Parker Penny. Let's bring up Commissioner Ted Terry. Come on, Commissioner Ted Terry.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, CEO Thurmond. Once you finish as CEO, you can do the comedy hour at Porter Sanford, and I will come to that show because you are hilarious sometimes. And I do really enjoy being at these type of events as a newer commissioner with CEO Thurmond, Commissioner Larry Johnson, because it reminds me that the newer, younger commissioners, the commissioners to come after us, really stand on the shoulders of giants who, if it was not for y'all's leadership, Larry, going back 2 decades now, and certainly CEO Thurmond and the Board of Commissioners back when Commissioner Kathy Gannon was in this seat, pushing for Mr. Parker Penny to exist and all the residents who have supported it. And so one of the things that I love about DeKalb and certainly Super District 6, which I'm honored to represent, is that we love our parks. We love our diversity, the threads and the fabric of our county. These are all things that make DeKalb a special place. It's a place that a lot of people are trying to get to right now and trying to move into, and this is exciting because of assets like this. Whether we look at the north, south, east, and west, we are graced with the opportunity to experience an amazing array of wonder in our natural resources. DeKalb County has mountains, rivers, lakes, farms, areas that give our urban county and some suburban a glimpse of a rural life, of a forest. We're surrounded in this. I feel so cool right now. You can step out into the sun, it's hot, but in this forest, under this beautiful pavilion, walking around the lake, which we're going to do in a little bit, it kind of takes you back to the country. And I grew up in North Florida, outside the city limits of Tallahassee, so I literally grew up in the woods. So I'm a big believer in getting outdoors, having that opportunity for green space for our young people and our families. I'm really amazed about the work that's been done here. And when I first came on the board, Paige Singer, Director Ellis, the whole parks team, they gave me a complete tour of all the parks in District 6. And this is the one they took me to first. They said, we've got a lot of big things planned here. And I know the dam and all the work, the trails, all that has taken a long time because I got the tour in the fall of 2020. So before I even was sworn into office, and to see the work that's been done now is just really amazing. So let's just, once again, thanks to Director Ellis and Director Singer and the Parks Department and Atlas and everyone coming together to do this work. I'm hearing the birds. We're probably going to hear some creek, the smell of the earth, the freshness of life. This is what really brings me warmth, happiness, and peace, and I hope it does to you as well. Green space is a huge issue for us. We did a report, the Board of Commissioners did a report last year with a planning group, and we analyzed the last little bits of land that are undeveloped in DeKalb County. And y'all know that DeKalb County got built out over decades, right? But does anyone want to guess what percentage of undeveloped land is left in DeKalb County? Anyone want to guess? Keep lower. It's about 1.9%. We'll average up to 2%, all right? And so we've done that study, and we know that the last little bits, whether they're adjacent parkland or areas in neighborhoods that have been abandoned or legacy properties been held in families for years, are now sort of up on the auction block, so to speak, for development. And so because of the work of Mr. Parker Penny, and certainly the opportunity with SPLOST too, Mr. CEO, we have a moment to preserve the last little bits of remaining forest, some of its old growth. We know the South River Forest is a huge area, just a little bit 5 minutes south of here, that is also an amazing natural resource. And so, because of the work of the Penny and hopefully the future pennies to come, we will be able to come together to enhance our parks, our green spaces, and all of the other things that I know that our county prioritizes and sees important. So with that, I want to say thanks again to CEO Thurmond for your leadership. I remember being a mayor when I was city of Clarkston, coming and you were talking about the SPLOST and trying to get all the mayors to get on board for the SPLOST, and but you showed leadership. You got us all together, and as you like to say, the land of and, the tyranny of or, and you were the CEO in the land of and, bringing us all together, talking about what can we do, and what can we do, and what can we do together. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Larry. All the work that y'all have done, and we're going to keep the work going. Thank y'all.
Obviously, this was not prepared for someone who's a baby boomer, 70 years old. I can't read this. I'm asking Larry, what does this say? And I think it says Ernest. Is that right? Is that Ernest? I'm like, come on, Ernest. Give him a hand. Ernest Law with Atlas and the collaborative. You will recognize your team. So
Yes. Thank you, Mr. CEO, and good morning, everyone. It's really an exciting time to be here because of what we do. DeKalb County's passed in 2017 the SPLOST program, which is the Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. This is the first SPLOST in DeKalb County, and because of this SPLOST program, we're able to participate and be involved and have dollars going to projects like this. So we're just really grateful and thankful to the CEO and DeKalb County for this opportunity. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge some of our people and what SPLOST participated in here in this project. We provided funding for the basketball courts, for the tennis courts. We have 2 pavilions out here we participated in, and we also have the walking trail. So DeKalb County SPLOST program participated by giving or providing $700,000 towards this project. So we are really thankful for that. Also, I wanted to acknowledge our project managers and our team. I wanted to acknowledge Nick Jovine, who is not here today, but Jackie Steels, she's a part of our SPLOST team. Kathy Warren, just raise your hand, and David Fisher. They're part of our SPLOST team, and because of SPLOST, we can help make things happen in DeKalb County. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. We appreciate the contractors, Reeves and Young, that did an outstanding job. Parks Department, Paige Singer and her staff, Chuck. We really appreciate them because we work together with each user department. SPLOST can't do it by ourselves, so we work with each department. They come forward, we discuss these projects, and we make them happen. So thank you all very much. We really appreciate you.
Now I got some fun. 16, so I'm good. So now I want to introduce the best Recreation and Parks Cultural Affairs Director in America. Let me just tell you, when I met this man and we were building our team very early on, he came in, he interviewed, and I said, well, cancel the remaining interviews. This is the guy I want. He was so compassionate and dedicated, and I just knew that when we hired Chuck Ellis out of Kentucky, that he was the right guy. This man is leading, has led, and will continue to lead this department way into the future, and you just see his vision becoming a reality. For the first time in the 200-year history of DeKalb County, we have a fully accredited Recreation and Parks Department. Chuck Ellis, come on back.
Good morning, and thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I so much enjoy working here. I really do. I want to start by thanking the Board of Commissioners and, of course, our CEO, Michael Thurmond. I also want to thank Mr. Parker Penny and the SPLOST team. You all have been great to work with. We really enjoy it. I want to talk a little bit about the park. It's a 27.6 acre park. It was acquired in 2 actions, 1970 and 1978. The park contains a basketball court, multi-use court, tennis courts, a playground, and 2 pavilions. Where we stand now, we're overlooking an 8-acre lake. That was where we had to do a lot of the transformation. And a lot of work was gone in. Not only, I know we've been working on this since 2007, I believe, but just to communicate with the citizens. You're going to see, it's going to look worse before it looks better, but you got to trust us. And finally, I believe that message got across, and we were able to move forward. But in the early 2000s, Georgia Safe Dam Program reclassified Glen Emerald Lake as a Category 1 lake, which means that if it were to flood downstream, the possibility of loss of life or property was possible. So that makes this even more important project. Many years of planning and permitting were invested into this project. We're very happy that this has been completed, not just for safety reasons, but for the sense of accomplishment of much time and effort. The existing informal park trail around the lake was improved to provide a mulch walking surface with an edge treatment. 2 lake access points were also added, installed steps, and formalized path for fishing and enjoyment of the lake. Approximately $5.6 million was allocated to complete the park improvements. Contributions were provided by DeKalb County District 6 funding, the American Recovery Plan, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, SPLOST, and the Parks Department. The SPLOST funds were allocated to replace the multi-use court, basketball courts, tennis courts, both pavilions. SPLOST funds were also essential in completing the trail around the lake, which you've heard. The AE firm, our architect and engineering firm, which completed the dam design, is Kimley Horn and Associates, along with Hayes and Sawyer, and the Piedmont Geotechnical. The contractor of record is Reeves and Young, so if you guys would stand up, I'd like to acknowledge all your hard work and sticking with this through so many years. Yeah. Lastly, I want to thank our park staff who put in many years of a lot of energy to make this a reality. Marvin Billups, I know you worked on this well before I was here. And Paige Singer, I want to acknowledge you for your many years of dedication to this project. So thanks to all. Thank you.
And of course, now I'll bring forward, where's Miss Page? Come on up, Miss Page, come on up. And this is, now we'll have the ribbon cutting, but in conclusion, I want to thank you all as citizens and residents and voters of DeKalb County, Georgia, for having bestowed the honor to me to serve as your CEO for the last 7 years. It's been a true pleasure. It's something that will have reshaped and reinvigorated my love for public service, and it will remain as one of the highlights of my life. So I'm into the last 2 minutes, Mr. Billups, of my administration. As CEO, we're deep in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left on the clock, but I got 3 timeouts in my back pocket. So this gonna take a while, Larry, to get me out of here. So y'all, let's come on up and let's get this photo out there.
Just to add one thing, I want you to get this in your mind now. This is not East Atlanta. This is West DeKalb. All right? You got to make sure I made it very clear that this area needs its own identity. We don't need to be, I love East Atlanta because I represent it, but this is West DeKalb. So because you're moving forward, you're just getting it together. So when people say East Atlanta, say, no, we are in West DeKalb and we're moving forward. So thank you.
All right, enjoy the magical park. Enjoy this magical park. Glen Emerald is now officially open.